Alright everyone, the Trump assassination story just got even stranger. I thought it couldn't get more strange, but link in the description, archived of course. Before I get into that though, I will be in New Orleans actually starting tomorrow. So that might, tomorrow I will not be doing my morning videos. I will still do the streaming and stuff like that, like with the quartering and stuff like that, but I am taking a bit of a vacation for a while. And so I'm going to get some great footage for you of beautiful New Orleans, actually. It'll be fun. You know, autumn is coming here. Down there, it's never autumn. It's always summer, basically. It's a tropical climate, by Vermont standards at least. But I needed to talk about the Trump assassination story because apparently the Secret Service agent that was supposedly going to be piloting the drone to like look around the venue to make sure that, you know, Trump doesn't fucking get shot. This was at the first assassination attempt. We're now getting word, and I couldn't believe it when I read it. Apparently, the Secret Service agent, number one, only had an hour of informal training. So, you know, it's basically like, hey, you know, here's a remote and there's the drone. Here, we're going to show you how to make it lift up and go down and stuff like that. And, okay, you're done. Bye. That was surreal. But then we're finding out that he actually called tech support before the venue was actually open. Called a tech support line in order to try to figure out what the hell he was doing. This boggles the mind. The number of bungles that had to line up for this event to take place, the Trump assassination attempt, is staggering. The Secret Service needs an audit, in my opinion. They don't need to be just beefed up. They need to be looked into because quite clearly something terribly wrong is going on. To the liberals out there, you know, to the hate watchers, what if Kamala Harris's Secret Service detail fails? You know, it is possible. Apparently, there are people in the Secret Service that are totally incompetent. Doesn't that bother you slightly? What about Joe Biden? What if some, you know, Russian agent decides to rush in and stab him or something? Are they going to be able to stop him? At this point, I'm not 100% sure. That's the whole problem. Our taxpayer money goes to provide security for certain particularly executive politicians and candidates and so forth that are important to the function of our democratic system, our republic. They're not being defended, it seems. Now, Trump can compensate. He can always hire private security, and he definitely should have private security around him. Don't rely on the Secret Service. Don't rely on the local police, although in that instance they did do their job. They did their due diligence. They just had no cooperation whatsoever from the feds. Sheriffs you can count on. Local police. These people typically support Trump, for example, so I think that they'll do their job. But the Secret Service, my goodness, Trump may praise them on paper, but they didn't do their job that particular day. He came within an inch of his life in the literal sense. That should never have happened. It should never have been allowed to happen. Then we find they were considering whether to have like rental trucks draw up around the venue to create an area where you wouldn't have line of sight so that somebody, you know, is like 300 yards away, can't take a shot. But then I guess that didn't actually happen. Again, it's staggering the number of mistakes that were made in this particular instance. I mean, even at the golf course, Trump has private security at all of his venues. So they, you know, they're always around. But now we're finding out that the Secret Service didn't even have a drone up in the air, but it was because the agent was calling tech support in the first instance, of course, not the second instance. How many more instances do you need before you take this issue seriously? I seriously suspect that their entire operative goal is to allow Trump to be killed. But they've failed twice. And then Ruth's kid apparently just got arrested on child porn charges. This does not, by the way, surprise me in the least. If you look at a picture of him Looks like the sort of person who would probably be into that sort of thing. Just saying. I don't like to stereotype, but at the same time, you're the son of a demented would-be presidential assassin. When they went through all of the computers in the house, I'm not surprised that they found something untoward. This has happened now twice, and it shouldn't happen a third time, but unfortunately, and I think that I'm on board with a lot of other commentators, including the Quartering, I think Razorfist has pointed this out too, I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen a third time. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. Why? Because quite clearly the lunatics of the world have been radicalized to think that Donald Trump is the next Adolf Hitler, and so they're coming out in droves to try to destroy him. And, you got to blame the legacy media more than anything else, and perhaps big tech algorithms more than anything else as well, because they're the ones that are doing the radicalizing. They're convincing people that Donald Trump is flat-out chaotic evil. He's going to break all the toys, which I don't see as a bad thing, but, he's going to destroy democracy. Our republic will fall. Now, our republic will probably fall if you actually land a hit. That's the whole point. But these people are crazy, so they don't understand that. And so, the cycle repeats. The legacy media will take whatever Trump says and turn it into something that's terrible and deranged. It can be an innocuous statement. Let's say that he says, well, I really love oranges. Oh my God, orange man bad. I really like pineapples. Well, pineapples are a symbol of colonialism now, aren't they? Oh, I just had a steak the other day. How does Donald Trump have his steak? Well done. Just like every other degenerate. And stuff like that. I will give him a pass on that one, although personally I like it medium rare. The Trump assassination story has become so strange at this point, I think a lot of people have begun to tune it out. Because when something is that gargantuan, when there are that many mistakes that are made, mistakes, so-called, eventually people are like, okay, this conspiracy is too big. It's too big to fail, so to speak, and so they tune it out. So they're not going to pay attention to the news cycle on that one. We'll be getting into more polling and stuff like that later. I had to cover this, though, because I thought it was surreal. The Secret Service agent that was piloting the drone literally called tech support. This is our government in a nutshell under Joe Biden, by the way. It's a microcosm of the massive, spectacular failure that has been this current administration. But people would rather blame Donald Trump for being shot, I suppose. That's about all. Peace out.